So kind of continuing this train of thought, right, as Rob had mentioned. So back when Buddha didn't have a teacher, right, when he was realizing all of this himself, do you tend to kind of just, like you mentioned, naturally reach that point in which you realize that there is no self and that you're kind of part of, everything else? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, with so many different schools of meditation nowadays, right? Are they all sort of going to reach that same goal at some point? Despite having different teachings and different teachers, because if Buddha didn't have a teacher, how did he reach that point?
Thank you. Well, that's not quite true that Buddha didn't have teachers. Buddha had two, the best teachers in India of his time. And he succeeded to experience what they were experiencing. And they wanted him to stay with them and continue teaching, but he left. And it's true that he by himself reached the liberation. But it was not that he didn't have a teacher before at all. He experienced deep states of samadhi with both of those teachers, and that's very high spiritual attainment we are talking about. Okay, and then he went because he wasn't satisfied. He wasn't satisfied with what he experienced. He thought that it's not the ultimate liberation, because when you are in a state of samadhi, everything is fine. Everything is fine. There is no suffering there. But once you get out of the samadhi, the habitual tendencies are arising again. And then you are different. I mean, the samadhi really changes the character of people. You can't be untouched by such a deep experience. But nevertheless, the attachments are moving from one sphere to another, from the gross sphere to the fine sphere, okay? And that's not still liberation. And that's why Buddha continued on his own, because he couldn't consult anyone else. It was not that he decided, I will do it myself. That was not the case, He was looking for the teacher, but there was no one who could teach him further anything. So he was left on his own. Okay, and then he started practice that's very interesting, in a completely opposite direction, because the basic teaching. Indian contemplative practices and teaching connected with those practices at that time were, the world is Maya, world is illusion. But there is, beyond this illusory world, there is something which is permanent, which we have to reach. And once we reach that permanent thing behind the appearance, which is illusion, then we are saved, then we are liberated. Okay? And they reach that in a samadhi. Samadhi, when you're experiencing it, it seems like a permanent thing. Mind is not moving. Everything else is moving, but mind is not moving. Therefore, that's the thing. They call it Brahma. They call it God. They gave to that experience divine characteristics, okay, description. And they thought once they reach that, they are liberated. But then themselves, they discover various stages or various depth of that very experience. So some thought that they are liberated when they enter the, let's say, superficial samadhi. And some are not satisfied. They continue their practice and they reach deeper states, and then they say, this is liberation. Okay, so the Buddha tried both of this, and he wasn't satisfied. So he completely changed the way he practiced. From being, from practicing in order to reach the stillness, he turned towards world, and he started to contemplate impermanence. Okay? From wanting to go beyond the world, he came back into the world and started to contemplate the world of appearances, the impermanence. And through impermanence, he discovered the no self and the emptiness and so on. So he reached actually that which is not born and therefore never dies. Which is completely, that's why Buddhism is completely different from other teachings. You know, so your question was whether other teachings lead to the same thing. They don't. But it's not because, you know, well, this is Buddhist perspective. Okay? They have full right to say that they do so. And Buddhists shouldn't have a problem with that. You know, whatever they say, that's, you know, that's right. Okay? But actually, what they reach is samadhi state or various depth. And these are really very, you know, deep spiritual experiences which we have to respect. You know, they deserve all the respect for that. It's not a question of not respecting them because we think we are better than them or something like that, you know. And it's possible that those people actually experience the same thing which in Buddhism is experienced as a final reality. But and I can't say that it didn't happen, you know, sometimes. But what is limiting them to experience the same thing is the views. You know, the conceptual understanding of what is it that they want to achieve. You know, those views have a limitation, and that's why their experience can't cross that, can't go beyond that, because they believe in essence. They believe in something which is unchanging and forever the same.